Hi there, everyone. So excited to have you join us. We are today, this is going to be the very first event for the Women in Leadership Committee for the Meridian Chamber of Commerce. I'm Tracy Stone with the Women's Financial Center at Mass Mutual, Idaho, and we have Ray Allen with Peppershock Media. She and I are co-chairing for the Meridian Chamber this new committee called Women in Leadership. And I'm going to share just a little bit about what they are, because we came on the horizon to help bring value to our women in the Treasure Valley. And so we came on to really create, coordinate, and connect opportunities for women in business to professionally develop their skills. We came on to help them be prepared to assume leadership positions, to help advocate for gender equality in those leadership positions, and to collaborate with other organizations that are already in the Valley supporting women, but helping them provide events and learning and growing skills and networking skills. So our outcomes from this committee, as we bring it and launch it today, are to help women have more opportunities to grow their careers, to help women recognize the chamber as a place to help them develop those skills, to help them feel welcome and supported by the chamber and all the organizations that support the chamber, and also to have a safe place for women to talk about business. This is a committee that's created by women, for women. It's all volunteer, and we have some great volunteers we're going to talk to today. So, and they're going to share their experiences with, and first slide, Ray, do you have anything to add first? Anything exciting?
No, just that Tracy, really got the ball going, and then she, has this great group of women who are helping and supporting for the Women in Leadership Committee from the Meridian Chamber. Just wanted to give you a little shout out, Tracy, for getting us going and asking me to help you be, following your orders here.
There we go.
Happy to be here.
No, it's called collaboration. That's what women do well together, is collaborate. And today is actually National Mentoring Day. Ray actually had a big event already about this today, and we are going to start this event today kind of telling a little bit about mentorship and what it is and what it does. And I think everybody's got this general idea of what it is to be a mentor, but really, by definition, a mentor is an experienced and trusted advisor. A mentor is a person who provides you with the tools, the guidance, the support, and the feedback you need to thrive in your career. They're often sometimes someone who's gone down the same street that you're currently on, or is there to advise you on what they've done or what's worked best for them. Just about anybody can act as a mentor. It can be a friend, it can be a friend of a friend, it can be a family member, it can be a peer or a coworker, a former or current boss. It can be even somebody that you got to know through a networking event. A mentor isn't someone that you admire from afar. This should be somebody that's able to play a consistent role in your development and in your life over some period of time. Doesn't have to be a lifetime, but it could be over some period of time. I would call a mentor their knowledge and opportunity centers, meaning they provide you with insights and content and experiences that either you may not necessarily have at all or you have limited visibility into. Having a mentor can help you get unstuck, when you're struggling to come up with a solution, or you can't seem to make that decision. That's where a mentor you can bounce ideas off of and really, really rely on them. Having a mentor also can help you build your professional network, because they may be connected to people whom you can meet down the road. And being a mentor, think about that. What a mentor gets from this, there are a lot of benefits. And some of them include leadership training. You're helping train the next generation. You can have access to new professional contacts and opportunities. And that really the satisfaction of knowing that you are being part of someone else's success. It's really a two-way experience. So I'm going to go through very quickly what we feel are the qualities of a good mentor. And not all mentors are created equal. The best mentors share some very important qualities that you want to look for, and these attributes are in someone that you're looking to build that relationship with. If you're looking to be a better mentor yourself, then take note. There could be some things here that you might want to add on your list or do a little bit better. First of all, your mentor should have some kind of relevant background, maybe a few levels or titles ahead of you, or worked in the same space that you're interested in, so they have something relevant to relate to with. They should be able to help propel you forward because they've been there before. They've seen the landscape. They know what it takes to be successful. Having some kind of something in common will really help bring that relationship together. One thing I want you to watch out for, and this is something just to think about in that mentor-mentee relationship, is that ideally the person shouldn't be more than 5 or 10 years ahead of you. Someone real far in the future might have a wealth of experience, but they might be so removed from what you're doing and where you're at right now that they can't relate to the experience as it is and provide accurate advice. The modern workplace is so constantly changing that what was common practice in your mentor's prime might be no longer relevant. And part of that, and think about technology and how it's changed. And really, if you're into a high-tech sector, you might really need someone that's a little closer in age peer to be able to have a really successful mentorship relationship. The next quality that we look for is enthusiasm, and it's just as important to have expertise as it is to be so incredibly enthusiastic about wanting to share it with you. Shouldn't be someone who begrudges that or makes you feel like you owe them or is vague or manipulative. Rather be open and excited and want to spread the word. The best mentors give advice not because they like to hear themselves talk. And I think my kids may, argue this with me because I do like to talk, but really they don't want to hear themselves talk. They generally want to benefit others by sharing the wisdom they've learned over the course of their careers. They provide really support and enthusiasm. And if anybody, if you see somebody pop in, please let me know, and we can go over something in greater detail if we need to.
Well, we definitely have somebody who commented who wants to be a mentee. So this is good information, she's saying, from Casey. So we've already got I don't know what to say, a victim? No.
There we go.
Mentee who wants to be a part of this. So excellent. You're doing great.
Kind of tell them a little bit before I move on, tell them how they can become a mentee and or a mentor. We do have a list of mentors already, and we're going to hear from some of those. But if you're interested in being a mentee, what would you do, Ray? How would you go about?
Reach out to us or the Meridian Chamber and send us a message. Of course, Casey's already on board with this, and so we're going to reach out, we're going to connect, and we're making sure that we're matching up the mentors and mentees, in either alignment of career or, leadership style. We'll figure out the best match for each mentor and mentee, and we're going to have some people who will do groups of mentees or one-on-ones. And I know, Tracy, you're a fan of one-on-one. I'm going to do maybe group mentees if we have them, and we'll kind of take it on and see how it goes that way.
That sounds great. And look for more information from the Meridian Chamber on their website and on Facebook. And we'll get out more information about some of the great women that are going to be offering to share their skills and their knowledge as a mentor, and look more forward to those that are going to be mentees and see how we partner those together. And so now, to continue back, another quality of a good mentor is a respectful attitude. And, you want someone who criticizes you, and I say that in a good word because I like to be redlined in documents that I write. And so I should be the same as I speak. And so
feedback is a gift.
Yes, feedback. That's a better word than criticize. But we don't want a mentor to unfairly or harshly mistreat you. That it's unprotective and it's unproductive and it's frustrating. And so, and on the rare occasions that I've noticed when mentors, maybe unintentionally, maybe say something in the wrong way, we're all human, I think the first thing that I see of a good mentor is they apologize and they recognize, those traits, and and they really do it authentically. So, and that goes two ways too. So it's another two-way street on the respectful attitude that we have. Next is, mentoring. I'm going to consider it an investment. I'm in the money business. I love investments. So I'm really going to say it's an investment. No one gets paid really to do this in their day jobs. There's no concrete incentive. You'll want a mentor who finds genuine joy in helping others. They make their lives available for this relationship. Great mentors realize that they're playing a long game, and as a result, they're real patient in how they guide others down their path. They don't expect immediate gains, and they don't give up easily. Most importantly, they care about maintaining and growing their professional relationship with their mentee. And sometimes that's just inherent, and other times it's learned. And I'll go over a couple little things that help that a little bit later here. Finding someone who's respectful is key, but also finding someone who will give you that tough love when you need it. We talked about that a little bit. A good mentor knows how to deliver that feedback in a way that's constructive and kind and direct. They don't shy away from being honest because they're afraid of hurting your feelings. Really think about it. Basically, you would want someone who's willing to call you out on your BS. Yeah. Because really, can you get that kind of perspective in the workplace, right? And you'll want to know that you can make better decisions, come out stronger with someone like that by your side. When I do mock interviews with students, I invite them to come talk to me at my agency, and I said, treat it like a real interview. Dress for success, come in prepared, research the company, do that. They're not interested in a job with me, but I'm interested in helping them further their career. But I tell them, don't do it if you don't expect honest feedback. I'm going to be honest with you. And if you don't want to listen, then this isn't a good mock interview time for you. But really come prepared for that honest feedback. And I think mentees really need to remember that. You don't want to be just told how great you're doing. You want to be told, what it is you should be improving.
And feedback, by the way, is a gift, like I said, but you don't want to deny, defend, or blame. You just say thank you.
That's right. That's right. And so an important quality is also reflective listening and empathy. They can have all the answers in their head, a mentor, but if you're not willing to listen to where, or if they're not willing to listen to where you're coming from, they're not going to be able to steer you in the direction you want to go. Now, remember, this is your career and your path, and they're helping you along the way. So a good mentor really needs to listen and understand where you want to be. They should be asking questions, and they should actually be curious about what you're up to and why you're doing it. That way they can lead you in the right direction. So oftentimes, if people just try to impose their own beliefs or ways of approaching things on you, that can be a downfall. It's find someone you can trust that can take your values into account over their own. Affirmation, good mentors affirm and encourage character development. It's not an exercise in finding that error or really putting anything down, but it's helping them reach their full potential. That's what a mentor is here to do. And this can help a mentee adjust unrealistic expectations or aspirations. It can also help to build and foster a new vision and determination. And also just a willingness to be a sponsor. It's someone who can guide you with advice and support. I can summarize with 3 things. At the end of the day, you're a consultant, you're a counselor, and you're a cheerleader. And so it's just more than telling somebody what to do. I think it's really sharing that expertise. So what I'd like to do is now get to some of the people that have joined us today. And I'd love to have them share with us what it was like to be mentored and how that impacted their professional career. And so is Mayor Tammy here? Can we get, I see I did that right.
Yeah, no, we were just talking about
Mayor Tammy DeWeird. If she is on the line, I'd love to have her come on. we've got our broadcast studio working to make that connection.
Yeah, Sean's behind the scenes. Thank you, Sean, for getting all of this going for us. So I said earlier, it's hard for me not to call her Mayor Tammy. So I think she'll just always be Mayor Tammy to me. So yeah.
Well, as we work on that connection, Ray, why don't you share with us your experience as a mentor and what that brought to you, and how you were mentored in this business and being a mentee, kind of from both sides of the table.
Really.
Okay.
Well, and I've been in business now for 17 years, but I started very young and started being an entrepreneur at a young age. And at the time, I think having mentors was really helped me get through, understanding what I needed to do and not do. And even before the business started, I mean, internships and getting mentored by the people that, kind of guided me and molded me into it. And really, it's just being surrounded with people that you want to learn from and listening to them. I will say that, sometimes people will give you advice and, you have to take it for what you can use it for, and understanding what they have, right, and what they're going to give you, but not always having to learn on your own and, learn the hard way is how I would perceive what I did, right? And then turning that around, and then also being a mentor to others, and being able to guide them. And we do graphic design and video production and all of these things that people want to learn about, and then just guiding them through what they need to do in making career choices. And I often work a lot with younger students, if you will, and some of the things that I am really trying to help with these days, and especially now during the pandemic, and just understanding what it's like to be online and doing all of these things that we're doing now with the digital space. Our Gen Z and our millennials, right? Their screen time is native to them. So just working a lot on skills that can be personable and be relationship driven, and soft skills, if you will, and what it's like to actually communicate and do a good job at communicating with others. So that's kind of my world, and being a mentor now is helping guide people into that space. But I see we have Tammy, I think.
Yes,
Hello.
Tammy, what I'd love to have you do is share that first, as a mentee, tell us who your mentor was and what that brought to your professional development. I know you volunteered to be one of the mentors for our Women in Leadership group. I'm super excited about that. So share with us what that was like for you.
Well, mentorship is a huge played a huge role in my progression into my elected role. Really was starting with first my grandma. I've had a number of mentors, but my Grammy was a big one. I always get emotional when I talk to her, and anyone that knows me knows I get emotional about most anything. So, but she was very tenacious. She was compassionate. She was a strong woman with huge beliefs in family, and she really instilled that in me and my sisters. That when I moved to Meridian, it was a real huge part of me. But what really got me involved in our community and in many of the things that I did in my role as mayor was Terry Smith. Terry was a Kiwanian, and the Kiwanis had huge and strong youth programs. And I was really motivated by what they were instilling in young people in creating a sense of service and citizenship and compassion to others. So many of the things that my grandma instilled in me. So Terry was my first true mentor in teaching me through his actions for his love for Meridian, and really encouraged me to get involved at other levels. Certainly the women mentors in my life are people like Christine Donnell, Ruby Stone. She was a female legislator in kind of a man's world. Both of these two women were very strong. They were focused. They were determined. And they both were very accomplished. Ruby showed me in a very contentious meeting what it was to really stand for right and respect humans and make sure that they were respected. All the things that my mentors had in common were inspiring others, creating action. They all believed in accountability and motivated others, me included, to step up, to get involved and be the solution that you want to see. So you mentioned, Tracy, that I have an interest in being a mentor. I've felt very privileged to have opportunities to touch lives in a variety of ways, from youth to other women. Sometimes we're not good at really motivating each other to step up and to be involved and engaged and being part of someone else's success. But how I believe in mentoring is more informal and relaxed. I have kind of the family approach where sharing our personal experiences and journeys and how we've gotten to where we are and really focusing on someone's vision for where they want to go. I'm huge into vision setting and creating action plans to that. I will try and practice a balance between being a question person versus the answer person, and making sure that as my mentees move forward, they really are focused on their own plan, not what Tammy's plan was for them. And I will really stress that that I'm not responsible for their action and them taking action, but really they're 100% responsible. So I hope to, like my mentors, inspire, critique, not judge, and share ideas and options so that they can go out and accomplish those things that they wish to accomplish.
Great,
Tammy. How do you see your mentees? Are you going to do multiples or just one-on-one, or are you are you going to Zoom with them? Are you going to meet with coffee? How do you see this happening for you?
Well, I Zoom. I love coffee or wine, so I can do either end of the day. I don't drink wine in the morning.
Okay,
I'm kind of more of a one-on-one person, or a one-on-two, or whatever motivates and makes that person comfortable. I really will focus. I mean, some of those things that I think that people, I can talk about anything, but those that want to get involved in a community, that want to know more about service and volunteerism, maybe even politics. We need more women in politics. How to navigate in a man's world. Understanding when you get into leadership, understanding your bully pulpit. That's really important. And it can be intimidating at first. It's about falling forward, learning from our missteps, because certainly I've had those. And pursuing your passion, but I really like the visioning part and putting an action plan to move forward to accomplishing your goals.
And I think we'll also be able to, as we join the mentees and mentors together, I have some ideas on, really the relationship itself, how to design the alliance. Are you meeting by phone? How often? With whom? In group or not? And we have some guidelines that we'll share with both the mentor and the mentee, so that you get started on the right foot. So, and some questions to ask of each other, because it's going to look different for each relationship. And so it doesn't have to look like anybody else's. And that's the beauty of it, is that you can take it and run with it. And so
I've had some people that, they once a month, others once a week, and frequently touching base. There are some that kind of like me, just tell me and I'm going to go out and do my thing. Others like to have those checkpoints. So I'm very flexible and love to encourage others because it feeds me.
That sounds great. We also have Jill Aldape is on the line. I think we're gonna, if we can get her to come up. Jill is there she is, the director of the St. Alphonsus Foundation, one of my good friends, and she's also agreed to be a mentor. So Jill, now tell us what it meant to be a mentee and what you'd like to share about that experience.
Sure. Well, I have a couple of thoughts on this, and I've been thinking about mentorship, and I appreciate your notes, Tracy. I don't know that I've ever had a formal mentor. Of course, throughout my 44 decades, without being too specific, I've had the opportunity to work with others, and I currently work at St. Alphonsus, and I've had the opportunity to observe a lot of strong leaders. My current boss, Odette Bolano, is an amazing, smart, strong leader. And there's other strong, especially women leaders in healthcare. Some of them have become my friends. And so I would say that I've been able to observe closely women in the workforce do really amazing things. And I've also seen amazing women from afar. I'll just use RBG as an example. I mean, what an inspiration, especially now that there's a lot, just, a splash about her life. And I've read a lot more about the courage that she has displayed in her career. I never had the opportunity to meet her, but I just think observation, whether it's close or from afar, can mean so much in terms of taking the accomplishments and achievements and the challenges of others and bringing them into one's own experience. Of course, I've had bosses that in a formal relationship, they can give you feedback, structured responses to how you're doing. I've had some informal buddy system kind of relationships. I've had a professional coach. I don't know that I've ever had a formal mentor-mentee relationship as you've described. And I think it's distinct and I think it's special. And I think there are some special opportunities within. And I really like what Mayor DeBeard said as well, to develop a vision and a plan, because one isn't much without the other. So I like those two components. The other thing I would add is having a mentor that fits those characteristics that you mentioned, Tracy, in terms of, has paved this path in her own way, in some ways might have experience to offer. But sometimes I'm thinking that an effective mentor would be able to just be a sounding board that has valuable insight on the questions of, what do you think if I do this? Or can you be, how does it, how would it look in the work world if I try X? Or am I crazy if I think this in a certain situation? I just think a mentor could offer some valuable insights where a boss might not be the right relationship for that. A friend might not. So I'm excited about this opportunity. I'm happy to help. And by the way, I'm always looking for mentors myself. I don't think that we ever grow out of that. I'm a lifelong learner, but I'm excited to be involved, and I'm here to help however I can provide value. So thanks for launching this initiative.
Love this, Jill. That's perfect. So very good. Ray, do you have anything to ask her?
Well, I was just going to say, what you said about, mentors needing mentors, coaches always need coaches, right? If Michael Jordan had like 10 coaches, right? He had a free throw coach, and he had a health coach, and he had a mental coach and a, lifestyle coach. And so it's true. Everyone is always in need of their own mentors. And just as much as I'm mentoring, I have a mentor, and Connie Miller, I know has also offered to mentor as well. And she was one of my mentors, and she's one of my favorite, and still is, and she will always be.
Let's keep it going. Yeah.
Yes,
for sure. Thank you for sharing, Jill.
Yes, thank you. Is Connie on the call? Can we pull Connie up?
Did I tee that up right?
Perfect. Women just instinctively know how to move forward in a conversation. So Connie Miller, the platform is yours.
That's right. Well, thank you, Ray. That was very sweet. Now, my whole life I've been blessed to have amazing mentors that have been there that I haven't even asked for. Clear back to being a girl and having some amazing Girl Scout leaders that stepped in. What I will say, some of the best mentors that when I think about what are characteristics, it's that they really had true, genuine care and concern for me and my well-being. And they're very interested. So those have been some of the best mentors. Years ago when I worked as an accountant at Girl Scouts, I remember a lady, her name was Mary Grunwald, who took me out to lunch when I was an accountant in a small cubicle and an extreme introvert, and really taught me how to get out there and build a brand and have a voice, find my voice. And so clear back then, I can remember those fun situations with that. But here's what I'll say about mentorship is it's two-way. It benefits both sides. And the things that I look forward to when I've sought out mentors, because I think it's really important to always be asking yourself, what do you need to know next? Where do you need to improve your skills? Some of those things. So I look for trust, someone I can trust. And I love conversations and mentor-mentee relationships on both sides where you feel like you can be vulnerable and confidential and trust. So we want to help each other. And I think some of those relationships are profound when you can build that trust and get to that level. I think different perspectives, and whether that's receiving or giving different perspectives, is a critical trait of mentorship. You are in your own world and you only know what you know. And so finding people that can ask you questions to make you think a little bit differently is important, and also provide some of that insight to people that you are mentoring. And I think sometimes, I think especially as women, we're afraid to speak truth into situations because we don't want to hurt feelings. But some of the best mentors in the world are the ones that will, offer suggestions in a respectful way, and it's just an idea, and they don't get offended if you don't take that idea, but they just love the different perspectives. Encouragement is big. I always look to surround myself with people that are going to lift me up and not tear me down. But I love constructive criticism because, like I said, I think we get in our own world sometimes, and we think we might know, for example, what our differentiation is in our own companies or where we're going, but getting a different perspective, it's like, ooh, that is actually really true. So I have just some amazing mentors in my life. And I agree with Ray. You will never be at a point in your life, and you should never, where you don't need some type of mentorship. I have some amazing mentors in my life. There's times as a CEO in my job where I sought a professional CEO coach to really help with, boy, the company's changing a lot. I need to make sure that I'm also progressing and changing as well. So to challenge me with that and be open to feedback with that. One thing that I look for often in both those relationships that's really important to me is a servant leader attitude. So I really want people that want to help for the right reasons, and I also want to help for the right reasons. So making sure that there is this servant leadership attitude that is ingrained in people, so that they are there just to offer whatever they can with no hidden agendas, I think is really critical. And I've been really, really blessed with that. So what I love to do, so I mentor several folks right now. I've been mentors in youth, such as for Girl Scout Gold Awards and Wyakin Warriors, and just lots of organizations, but also even the adults that I've mentored. Idaho Business for Education has an amazing mentorship program. And what I have found that works the best for me is to have a really good open discussion about what you see this relationship looking like. What are you really wanting from this? What does success look like is a great question to ask. 6 months from now, what does success look like? So you can really understand what each other want. And then also a really great discussion about what does this look like if we get to the point where we feel like we don't like the mentorship and the relationship might not need to be what it is today. Having an agreement in advance about what that looks like is really a nice thing to do, because then it's not awkward and uncomfortable. And what I have found with all my mentors is a great friendship that always comes out of that is lifelong. So, but I've actually had times in my career, and Ray actually was one of these, where sometimes just build your own mentor group. If you're feeling like you're at a point where you really would either love to mentor and or receive some mentorship, I've built mastermind groups where you just reach out and get 5 or 6 people together, and you all agree to help each other. And some of those people have been amazing lifelong friends that I've created that I can call today and have porch visits today, and just really pick the brains of where people are at. So here's what I know about mentorship, and that's that it fills my soul to mentor. And so one of the things I see is people are afraid to ask for help, or afraid to ask someone if they would be willing to mentor them, because they see successful people and they automatically assume they're super busy and they don't have time for me. But that's actually not really true. Most successful people, their souls get filled by helping other people, because they also had people help them. And so never be afraid. The person can only, they're not going to say no. They may say yes, and I have, this particular schedule, or this is what I can do. Or I can connect you with an amazing person if I don't have time. So never be bashful to lean in and ask and help. Because what you don't realize oftentimes is it's a gift, and it's a gift that we love to give, because we have learned and we have had amazing mentors over our careers. So I will just say right now, because I'm mentoring several, for me, I would love to do a group mentoring. I find amazing synergy from successful people, and people willing to get mentorship are always amazing people, right? Because they're willing to continue grow. So for me right now, I really would love to do a group mentorship, because I just think the synergy that comes out of sharing ideas in a group is amazing. So I'm really excited about this. I think it's going to be great, and I'm looking forward to meeting several more people.
Sounds great. Thank you, Connie. Perfect. You brought up one of the most important points that we're going to share, is just that idea of reflect and evaluate, that you do sit down at that very first meeting and really set the parameters and ask what's going to be best. And, whether it's the confidentiality and the meeting times and the time and the places and on all the logistics, but then also make sure that you set a time that in advance you're going to come back and reflect on what's been going, how's it been doing? How's it going? So that you can evaluate it to move forward in the future. And so I really think that that's a really good, important point to make. And that there always is that reflection that comes from that. So that's where you learn and grow. So thank you for bringing that up. I know we have another is Michelle here. Oh, Michelle Murray, are you?
Hi, Michelle.
Hello, I unmuted.
Oh, there you go.
There we go. One of our beautiful entrepreneurs and small business owners here in the Valley. And Michelle, I'd love to have you share a little bit about, your experiences and what you plan to bring.
Well, the honor about it, I guess, is my mentors have been Connie and Tammy, and there's so many amazing women that are willing to share and connect with you, as long as you're willing to ask, and then maybe, I guess, listen. With mentoring, I feel like it's that heart of service, like Connie was talking, and a trust level. One of the things that I would like to be able to help with is maybe building a business. If you were going to start it from the ground up, where do you go? Who do you talk to? Who's the team you build? Who's a great accountant? Who can you trust with those little details? Maybe even with an HR issue. Who's going to answer the phone at 10 o'clock at night? Because sometimes as entrepreneurs, that's then the first time we get a chance to use the phone at the end of the day, or even a good work-life balance. We're living a pretty good work-life balance right now. So that's been pretty blessed. And I do have time to share and to help influence or be a sounding board, be a good listener, hopefully give some good advice, maybe things that I've been down the road. I feel like I learn more by hearing what other people have experienced. I love to read biographies. That's the way I think you get the grit of who people are sometimes. And yeah, I'm just super honored to be here and to share any kind of enthusiasm. I will be your biggest cheerleader. I'll be in a corner. We can Zoom, we can do coffee. We're in Boise like twice a month now, but I'm always here. Always got a phone call away or a text or those encouraging words. And then with the heart of service, that is definitely what I have, a heart of service. It is my biggest part of our community, I feel. And there's so many different places that you can get involved on nonprofits, on the board level, on the volunteer level. You just want to go help set up an event, be there, do it. Those are your people. I always tell everyone, if you have a heart for service, you have a nonprofit you love, get involved. You will be with your people. And your business will be successful from that point too. I believe so. I can do one-on-one or I can do a group. I just think I want to be in Connie's group.
I really recommend it.
Yeah, who doesn't love having her in your cell phone, and that's I think what the greatest thing about women is if you have something and you text them and say, hey, I have this, something's going on, can you help me? If they can't, they will get you to the right person. And that's, I think, what we want to be as a team of women who might know this, might have been down that way, especially with COVID and what's going on. And how do you get a PPP loan? What are the logistical things of that too? We all like the fun stuff, but then the work in the back room isn't as fun. But why do that alone?
It's interesting. When I was right out of college, I started in the public health sector, and I'm scared to death. I'm 21 years old, and I'm in a man's world in a county that everyone is men in this county. And I'm kind of scared to death. And yet I'm going to say I can do it. I can do it. I just got the do it just written all over me. And I went in and what I found in certain areas in public health is frustrating, because you have laws and rules and all these things you have to manage, but people would complain about this and that and everything else. And it's kind of like politics. It's hard to make any changes. And I remember I came back and I said, they don't like this rule, this law, this reason I was closing beaches because of red tide poisoning. And he said, and rather than tell me just what to say or what to do, my mentor, my boss, and at this time, and he doesn't realize how many times I think about him, he said, well, what are you going to do about it? And here I am, 21 years old, and I'm thinking, well, I came to you to ask you what to do. And he says, well, what do you want to do? And I said, well, I want to teach them why this is important. Well, then let's do it. And he gave me that opportunity to say, I'm going to lead a solution. I'm going to find, I think Mayor Tammy brought it up, find a solution rather than just complain or give an answer, but really find a solution for what was wrong. And I think that was the greatest gift that was ever given to me, is to really find the solutions and really run out and make it happen. And I think, in fact, Mayor Tammy called me earlier in the year, and Connie, and they said, and Sean with the Meridian Chamber, and said, we want to reach women in the Meridian Valley and the Treasure Valley, the entire Treasure Valley, and we want to make a difference. And we want to show that we care about our women. Can we do that as part of a committee with the chamber? Hence, that's how we started this.
And it all started with lawn chairs.
So, yeah.
The park, lawn chair luncheon in the park.
That's right, the lawn chair luncheon. So I really appreciate everybody's stories and their reflections and what they did. We do have a guest. Ray, would you introduce her?
I will. And first, I just want to say thank you to all of you for sharing and offering to be mentors. And we've got lots of comments, people wanting to be mentored or be a mentor, or mentee or mentor, I guess. So thank you for sharing your stories and telling us about your history and, what it means to be a mentor and to be a mentee. We really appreciate your time and energy and effort, because we know we're not getting paid for this, but what we get and receive out of this is truly a treasure to take this and do this, right? For those that need it from us. And so But yeah, so there's a comment in here, speaking of being National Mentoring Day, and this is perfect timing for us to launch this Women in Leadership Committee from the Meridian Chamber. Lots of mentoring things going on today, and not only that, there was a comment about Boise State having people, being able to match up alumni with students right now, who students obviously need some help and guidance with what's going on in the pandemic, and lots of layoffs and jobs and just shuffling going on. And so thank you for sharing that. So Debbie was saying that there's a platform that you can connect with if you are wanting to help students right now, which I'm an adjunct professor at Boise State, so of course I'm happy to promote that. But teaching marketing, it's what I do. But I think just on that note, there are a lot of mentoring programs going on. And so I want to introduce next Paige, who's going to share with us a bit about what she's doing now. She's the director of mentorships even at the Idaho Women Business Center. And she's here to share with us about kind of the business side of mentorship and what they have going on. And we're not necessarily competing because we're working together. If there are people who want to do specific programs through the Idaho Women's Business Center. So Paige, tell us about what's going on at the Idaho Women's Business Center.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Is it echoing for everybody? Okay. Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to be here. The IWBC has just hired me to launch this new mentorship program called Connect the Dots Mentorship Academy. We're really focused on serving Idaho women across the state with their business. So we serve entrepreneurs and small business owners, mostly women, just because that's kind of what we're focused on. But yeah, so we just got started. This was the official launch today. We had our webinars this morning launching that. So we're really excited to get that going. Did you want me to continue on, or did you have other?
Yeah, sure. Go share us a little bit about what you're doing and how you're doing it with the kind of the business community. It's really about starting a business, right? Or being in business primarily, correct?
Yeah, so you can either be getting ready to start your business and or already be in business. So we're serving both. Can you hit the next slide, please? So the why of the Women's Business Center is really just, as a team, we're on a mission to serve all the women of Idaho, and we're including finding and connecting them with mentors who can help them grow professionally, but also as a human. So we kind of double dip there, but we have a strong belief that everybody needs a mentor, especially in business. And we believe that with our network that we have the connections to help people find one, no matter what kind of business they have. So we're really excited about that. The goal of the program is to create successful mentors and mentee relationships that are serving on both sides, which is kind of what you guys have been talking about, where both sides of the relationship really get that benefit. And then again, the overall goal is just to help Idaho women grow their businesses, assist in overcoming challenges and barriers of entrepreneurship and small business ownership, create more income, become more successful, and really, be a part of Idaho growing. We really want to help women do that. Yeah, thank you. So we are also launching this program. This program will operate year round. This is my main focus, is just getting people into this program. So as a mentor and a mentee, most relationships will be very part-time. We're thinking 1 to 3 hours a month for 3 to 6 months, really just to get that longevity, get people to grow together and kind of create that relationship. We won't allow a mentor to have more than 2 mentees at a time, just so that nobody gets overwhelmed and that each person is actually getting served. And then because we are a program that's has grant money, we have to do a lot of reporting back on what we're doing. So as a mentor, some people would have to give me some reporting back on the progress of their relationship. And then for the mentee slide, if you give me that next one, very similar in time commitment and the length of time. And this one, we're just asking people that they really show up and be a part, because that's how their business is going to grow and that's how they're going to get their best benefit. And if you give me the next slide. So the cool part about what we're doing is the IWBC has purchased a software that kind of works like a dating app. which some people may recognize or kind of have some relation to. As you create your profile as the mentor or the mentee, the software actually has an algorithm that matches people based on the answers that they put in their profile. So some of that could be language, it could be professional skills, it could be things they want to learn about, it could be also about what field they're in. So luckily for us, I don't have to hand match like you guys were saying. This software kind of does it and allows them to pick a mentor. It suggests mentors and or mentees, and then they get to choose in, which is super awesome. That's the part I'm super excited about, because the software also creates a great interface for free Zoom meetings, free communication tools, free goal setting tools. It's really powerful. So, and again, all focused on being in business or wanting to start a business. So that's really exciting for us.
Very good.
Paige, that's exciting. I think, as I've mentioned when we met earlier this week or last week, and we talked about, because we were both found out we're doing National Mentoring Day. I'm sure a lot of people are doing this, but what I found, it's a great opportunity to be able to work together, and our very goal from the beginning with the Women in Leadership Committee wasn't to reinvent anything by anybody else. It was meant to collaborate with the other organizations that are doing wonderful things in the Valley for women, whether it's the Smart Women, Smart Money, or Women Ignite, or the Idaho Women's Business Center. And so I think this is, if we can promote each other, that's what we women are good at doing, is promoting each other. So our mentoring program that we're starting here is just one little piece of what we plan to do in the next year. Ray and I have a whole list of things that involve training and involve training opportunities to grow as a leader, or to grow from a social standings, or meaning more the social skills, let me put it that way, the soft skills. We have the opportunity to, we're going to have great speakers and content, and maybe some panelist discussions. We're going to have fun social networking events, and hopefully we'll have a live launch where get together, and even just as fun as teaching women how to swing a golf club, because it's a man's world out there on the golf course when they're talking about networking and doing business on the golf. Why can't women have those same skills? So we have all kinds of ideas, and Ray and I are going to distill these down and provide some real quality events. But this first one, our mentor and mentee relationship will be a real relationship kind of a opportunity, and so your focus is going to be more on the business side of it. And so I'm super excited to pair with you. Thank you, Paige, for being here today.
Yeah, absolutely. And if anybody's interested, they can directly reach out to me. And there's also a sign up button on our website, idahowomen.org, that allows them to sign up as a mentor or a mentee, or both. You can be both as well.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes.
So thank you so much, Paige. And I just want to, we've got 6 minutes left. And so what I want to do is really talk about the next steps of all the things that we want to accomplish in the Women in Leadership, and get women involved in this, and kind of really the purpose of this group that, came together. Tracy invited me to the lawn chair luncheon, and then, you get a park full of women, a room full, but that's not true. A park full of women. And we have so many great ideas that we're kind of focusing and narrowing down. And really the purpose of this is to, do things to help teach and connect and create opportunities for business and professional development and skills. We're going to call upon people who can speak and present and share with us their knowledge and expertise. We're going to obviously continue the mentoring as much as we can, and have events like Tracy said. Hopefully we can have in-person events, but we'll obviously use this tool as much as we need to. But the outcomes of this committee and what we really want to see, happen with this is that women will get more opportunities to grow in their careers. They'll be recognized by the chamber as a place to develop their skills. Women will feel welcome and supported, And then women will have a safe place and space to be able to talk about business, talk about the career choices they're making, talk about the trials and tribulations that we all go through. Men or women, doesn't necessarily matter in that regard, but it's just a lot of support that we want to give to see our community and impact on how women can grow. And, this area has been ranked one of the top areas to grow a business, to start a business, to be in business, to support business, and women especially. So I am very proud to be a part of this group, to be a part of, changing the way and trajectory of history and how we write history moving forward, and being a woman-owned business owner myself, and a mom, and all of these things that I do. I'm just so happy to be here with all of you to give the time that we need to help support the other women who are our next generation up and coming that need our support. So with that, I just say thank you, and thank you for taking the time out of your day and being here. And I'll just open it up to questions. If there's any other questions or ideas of what we want this group and this mentorship and the women in leadership of the Meridian Chamber, what we want it to be. And so I'll let anybody ask questions, and we'll just carry out, and then we'll end right at 4:00. We have 4 minutes.
I will say that Gretchen with the Meridian Library District did run a report for me, and I thought it was fascinating that, and I'll use just the entire Treasure Valley statistics, the percentage of female CEOs, CFOs, presidents, owners is only 20%. 80% are men in this valley. And that is consistent with other communities that are around us. But I see the potential for a huge improvement in that number, ladies. And I will have to say that I can be very biased in this, since it is a women's in leadership committee. But I would love to see a change in the direction of that. I would love to see more women members as part of the Chamber of Commerce and other advisory boards and that, and I think we can do it. So other comments?
Well, I would like to bring Sean. Sean, can you join us? Behind every great woman is a man supporting us. So let's see it, Sean. I do want to give credit where credit is due, because he has been the man behind the what is it, the Wizard of Oz? The one running all behind the scenes.
Well, behind the curtain today, but I had a little technical issue, so I apologize.
No one noticed, except your audio, I know.
No, thank you all.
You do sound like the Oz behind the curtain.
He does. He's the Wizard of Oz.
No, I do. I appreciate all of you. And this committee, when the board hired me, this is a committee that they've been working on for many years, trying to pull together. And I really do feel like we're making some great progress on this effort and some of our other leadership efforts as well. So thank you all for your leadership and guidance.
Thank you, Sean. And we have a number of great women. Tracy, thank you for mentioning Gretchen Casarati. She is the co-chair of our chamber leadership development committee. And she's certainly one of those women leaders that I love to call a friend, and someone that continues to inspire me, like Connie has. I'm like Michelle. I'd like to join that group as well, because we never stop learning. And Connie has been an informal mentor for me, kind of like my other ones. I think some of them don't even know that they were mentors. Mm-hmm. And isn't that the way we hope that we touch other lives? But we need to be better at it, and we need to empower women that are our future leaders and community movers. And so I appreciate what the Chamber is doing to engage their membership into our community, into collaborating with each other. And it's joining together with entities like the programs that Paige was talking about. It's an exciting time.
Yeah, I agree. And I also want to encourage that I don't think a mentor has to have like like I do, a little those wisdom. It's not wrinkles, it's called wisdom, or the gray coming through. I think mentors can be women of all ages. It's your experiences that lead to development. And I know I have a daughter that I love to brag on, and she's a leader in the military, and she would love to share her expertise about what that was like becoming a leader in the military, becoming a leader in a very much a man's environment. And so, please remember that a mentor and a mentee can be of any age and any kind of partnership, and that's important to me.
Well, I'm going to keep us on time, but thank you very, very much. And also just, there's all kinds of comments on here. We've got people who want to be both a mentor and a mentee at the same time, which I love it. And look, oh, she says, thanks, Mom. I sure will. Thank you so much. Go back and read all the comments on Facebook, in the Facebook Live, on the Facebook page, on the Meridian Chamber. And of course, more people will watch this later. And if you are watching this as the replay, be sure and comment in there. If you want to be a part of this Women in Leadership group, or be a mentor or be mentee, we welcome you. We want to have you be a part of this group. And with that,
there you go. So thank you all for attending. Reach out to any one of us. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Mwah.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.